What's your name? What's your name? Your business? Yeah, start from there.
Okay, so my name is Kayla Phelps. The name of my business is One's Element Spa and Boutique. I just added that last part like a couple weeks ago. It used to just be One's Element, but I had to throw the spa and boutique on there so people just know what it is.
Cool, cool, cool. So where'd you get the name One's Element from?
So that wasn't the start of my business name. My business name was actually something else. It used to be Ring. That was the name of like my clothing line. And then when I had my little online boutique, I knew I wanted to do at-home decor at some point because if you could dress, you could do interior decor. They're like one and the same thing. And I was like, okay, when I start my home decor store, I was like, I want like a cute little name for it. So I started looking up synonyms that mean home. That's how I come up with a lot of my stuff. I look up synonyms on like that thesaurus website.
Right.
And One's Element came up. And I was like, that's really different and original. Because you know how everybody got that whole
like
bar situation, like that word, that beauty bar word is very trendy right now, and I didn't want to go with anything that was trendy. I wanted to go with something that was like classic, you know what I mean?
Right,
so
original.
That's how I came up with that, and then it just stuck with me. Then when I got into the beauty industry, it was kind of like, it seemed like it was broad, like it could go with anything. Whether I did the online store, the home decor, or the spa, One's Element seemed very appropriate for each thing that I decided to roll out. So I fell in love with it and stuck with it, and then everybody else was feeling it.
Yeah, I really like the name.
A lot of people didn't want me to change it, but then when I came up with that, they was like, oh yeah, we like that, keep that.
Yeah,
so that's how I came up with that.
So how did you get into the beauty industry?
So when I had my online store, I was working two jobs. I was working at the Summit Credit Union and I was working at DSW, the shoe store out in Henrietta. So I was like, okay, I got this job at the shoe store because I knew at one point I wanted to open up a store. And I feel like whenever you jump into something, you need to get a job within that field just to get some type of knowledge of how it's going to work, what do you need to do to run it, stuff like that. So I'm like, okay, so I got the job at DSW and then I'm doing the boutique, and I'm like, I don't have time to invest in this boutique because I'm always at work. And every time I roll like an outfit or something like that and people were hitting me up, I can't have my phone on the floor, so I wasn't able to attend to them. So I was like, okay, we're gonna have to cut back on these work hours to attend to your business. So I cut back on the work hours to attend to my business, and now I don't got no money. So I'm like, okay. I'm like, you gotta figure something out where you could you're focusing on your brand and you're also making a nice pretty penny to invest into your business. So I came up with lashes. Right. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna get certified to do lashes. So I got certified to do lashes like December 30th, 2019. Got certified to doing lashes. I hated
Why'd you hate
doing lashes. It's so tedious. It's hard on the body. It was hurting my neck. It was hurting my back. It was hurting my fingers. And then like, you crunched over somebody like this for 3 hours, and I'm like, this ain't gonna work. But I'm sticking with it because I'm like, okay, maybe I just don't like it because I'm new at it and don't really know what I'm doing. Maybe it'll grow onto me. That never grew onto me. So I got into body sculpting. So with the body sculpting, I was on Instagram, just like scrolling down my timeline. And when somebody go live, you get the notification on your phone.
Yeah.
I got the notification on my phone, and I tried to slide it up to get rid of the notification, and I ended up clicking on it by accident. It was the girl Bianca from Love and Hip Hop. Y'all know her, the chicken noodle soup girl?
Yeah.
Her. She was getting some vacuum butt lift therapy, and I was like, what's that? And I'm looking, I'm like, what's going on with that? What you gotta do to do that? And I see the girl in scrubs or whatever. I'm like, oh, she must be a nurse. I'm like, you gotta be a nurse to do that. And I'm like, but you don't know that. I'm like, just research it and see what you could come up with. So I found the class. Some classes was like $5,000. Some of them was like $2,300. I found a class for $1,000 out in Baltimore that didn't include equipment, but I didn't care because I just wanted to see what the field was about.
Right.
So I took the class. My mom took me down there. We went down there April 21st of 2019. It was Easter. And I took the class and I got certified in like the laser lipo, the vacuum butt lift therapy, wood therapy, the ultrasonic cavitation. I was like, okay, you gotta go get your license. I was like, you can't be out here just certified body sculpting, working on girls. I was like, that ain't gonna fly. You gotta go get your license. So I went to Continental, and at first they wasn't trying to have me in there. They were trying to make me pay like $900 on the first of every month. I was like, I can't afford that. And then I ended up getting laid off from my job back in 2017, and they accepted the paperwork from that, and I didn't have to pay anything. So I ended up getting financial aid, and I got enrolled in school on May 6th, 2019. So that's when I got introduced to waxing. That's when I got introduced to the facials, lash extensions. Again, now I'm learning different stuff that I didn't learn when I was getting certified. Still wasn't feeling lashes though. And then and all that other stuff. So then I graduated October 4th, 2019, and then I got a job at the Woodcliff November 2019, and then rolled into 2020. And I remember it was like February 8th and February 9th of 2020, I gave away 10 free facials and 1 free Brazilian. And then the following week, which was Valentine's Day weekend, that's when I made all that money back and I booked 10 Brazilians. And then it took off. It took off from there. And then COVID happened, and then I had to shut down. But I wasn't getting unemployment like everybody else. And then I was out of work, and your bills don't really care. So I'm like, okay, we're gonna have to, figure something out. So then I opened back up, and I kind of just I made a stat on Facebook letting people know I was open for appointments without saying come book with me. And then next thing you know, it just got it popping. Like from April 8th all the way up to April 30th, I seen 60 people.
Oh, wow.
And then from April 8th up until now, I seen 300 people, brand new people, a lot of repeats. Some people on their 4th time seeing me. And I was like, all right, we in here. This is what we doing. So then I filed my taxes. I found an accountant to file my taxes from 2018 and 2019. So now I'm on the books now, and I'm going to get my LLC this week because this is what we doing. We sticking with this now. I didn't intend on being a wax therapist. Waxing was something that I just wanted to throw on my menu that I know how to do. I really wanted that body sculpting to take off, but if God wanted me to be the wax goat, I'm gonna be the wax goat. I'm gonna do what He said.
So, with the accountant, so for the viewers in general, why is it important to have an accountant?
That's very important. First of all, you need to have a business checking account, and it needs to be separate from your personal checking account, because you have to monitor what's going out and coming in. You can't mix your personal expenses with your business expenses, because when you start to file your taxes, you're not gonna know what's what. And luckily, I already knew that. When you start a business, you should really do your research. And when I did my research, that's the first thing they talked about, is separating it. So when I first started my business back in 2018, I've been had a business checking account. It wasn't much going out and much going in, but I made sure that I kept those finances very separate, because it's gonna come a time where, now for me, for instance, I'm trying to buy a house. And when you want to buy a house, they want to see 2 years of consistent income. And if you self-employed and you got something, you can't just say, oh, I run a business, and you don't have any tax returns, or you don't have anything showing that you actually run a legitimate business. They're not really gonna rock with you. It's gonna be real hard for you to get a house.
Right.
So that's why you should definitely get that stuff on the books as soon as possible. And honestly, that's what really separates people from saying oh, I run a business versus I just do this. That's a side hustle.
Right.
That's not a business. When you not keeping up with your finances or making sure you're keeping things separately, getting your stuff on the books, you're not really running a business. You just got something on the side where you're trying to make some extra income to maintain, lifestyle, or help keep you afloat. When you really intend on expanding it into a business, growing it, having multiple locations, financial stability and financial me see. What's a good word?
Literacy?
Nope. I can't think of the word right
Describe
now.
what it means.
Discipline.
Discipline.
Yeah. I've always had trouble with that. I'm the absolute worst.
So like, what's helped you like getting better at it?
Losing this situation, COVID, because I never seen nothing like this happening ever. I never thought something like this could happen. It's one thing when you got a job and you get yourself fired. It's a whole nother thing when like a crisis come around and now you just completely out of work. And then even though I had my business got shut down too. Like they shut down everything, and I like really had to risk it, like risk being told on, because girls was doing that. They was blowing other girls in, getting them in trouble. Girls was getting their license taken. They was getting fined $10,000. I was really risking it. And had I saved up some money and, been a little bit smarter about some finances, I wouldn't have had to do that. I'm grateful that I did do that because I wouldn't be where I'm at today. But had I had been smarter about my money and what I was doing, I could have came up with like an alternative to help me hold it down until this whole situation got better.
Right. So what's been like the best platform for you marketing wise for your business?
I would have to say Facebook and word of mouth, because when I first started out, I was promoting on Facebook. I got a large platform on Instagram and I have a large platform on Facebook, but my audience is completely different on both platforms. On my Instagram, my audience is out of town.
Right.
They're not really local, whereas Facebook is local. So I was promoting on Facebook first, not on my timeline, but on my story feed, because on my if you post something on your timeline and it get like 5 likes, you have no idea who's seen it or how many people seen it. Whereas if I post something on my story and my pictures was getting like 5,000 views, at least I know 5,000 people seeing what I got going on. And that's where the business kicked up. But up until like the middle of May, somebody started reporting me. So my Facebook was blocked from the middle of May to June 25th. Because you get blocked for a week. And then as soon as my week was up, I'm posting another picture, I'm getting blocked immediately. And then as soon as my week was up again, I'm posting one more picture, got blocked for 30 days.
Can you delve more into like why I got blocked? I know why I got blocked, but like, if you don't mind.
I want to say it got blocked because somebody was hating on me. Because I done posted so many pictures before, like, and it wasn't like I was posting any nude. I had my hand covered as much as I can cover so you could still see my work. And I knew it was somebody because the same pictures that I posted on Instagram didn't get blocked, but they got blocked on Facebook, which was weird. I just don't know who did it, because in your stories you got 500 others. You have no idea who that is, but I knew it was getting reported because from April to the middle of May, my post was fine. I was posting whatever I wanted to post, and that's how I was getting so many clients. So then when it started getting blocked, I started to get worried. I'm like, Facebook is my largest channel right now, because on Instagram my views is only in like the 300-400s. Facebook, it was like 2,500 at the least, 5,000 at the most. So I didn't think I was gonna do as good without my Facebook, but in June I still made 90 appointments without that sales channel. I just had to up that Instagram, and I finally had to utilize my Snapchat. Never utilized my Snapchat before, and I got the Snapchat popping. And then word of mouth is what, like, even though I was still blocked and people were still DMing me, they was like, I don't know if you're still waxing because I haven't seen you post anything in a while. I'm like, babe, I'm still waxing. The books is still open. I just can't post anything because I'm blocked. But everybody kept shouting me out. I'm like, yeah, I'm still on. Y'all tried it, but I'm still on. I'm still going.
Fire. So for up and coming, like other business owners, like up and coming business owners, what are some tips that you would like suggest, or like in relation to like dealing with customers who, just in general?
Tip number 1, your customer service needs to be on point, because that's what's gonna keep people coming back, not your talent. Nobody cares how good you are. They probably gonna care for the first and second appointment, but that your personality, your character, how you treat people, how you talk to people, how you make people feel when they come through that door, that's what's gonna make them return. And especially like if you're not that good, but they like you, they feeling your vibe and everything like that, you're gonna get good, and they're gonna wait for you to get good. They're gonna keep coming to you because of the energy that you bring to the table. That's tip number one. I built my customer service from the call centers. I've been in the call center since like 2012. So that's how I developed patience. That's how I developed this little friendly voice that I got. That's how I'm able to, like, people come in with attitudes, and as soon as they come in with an attitude, I pretty much guide them as to how this visit about to go. They come in here upset or whatever, as long as I'm friendly, that's all that matters. And then they change their whole attitude around. I never really had any issues with like an attitude problem that I couldn't control. Right. That's because I got great customer service. I know how to talk to people. A lot of people in this generation don't know how to talk to people, and that's what be getting them in trouble. Right. And that's what be getting them the bad, when people be putting them on blast on social media. If you know how to talk to people and you know how to treat people, they wouldn't say anything bad about you. Because bad news travel faster than good news. People can't wait to bash you on social media. So your main thing is to prevent that from happening. That should always be your main priority. You do not want to get bashed. Right. Secondly, who you surround yourself with. You are the company that you keep. If you got leeches around you, people that's really not trying to do anything, they always want to do what you're doing because they want to leech off like what you got going on. You can't have that in your circle whatsoever. You got to get rid of that. You got to get rid of the jealous ones, because there's a lot of people that will make it seem like they're for you, they're happy for you, but you really got to learn who's coming to feed the soil and who's coming to grab the fruit. So once you figure that out, you got to get the wrong people up out of there, because them people, you ain't gonna go far. Because I got rid of all my friends and I got rid of my bad relationships, and it just seems like as soon as I got rid of them, things started going up, and I kept them away too. Y'all can stay away, because I just keep going here. They went here and I keep going here. And that just lets you know that people will really block your blessings. You will block your own blessings having the wrong people in your space. People pray over you. They will fake it like, oh yeah, I'm happy for you, I'm proud of you. No, they not. They really hoping that you fall soon and hard. And if they can help you, they would, honestly. So once you figure that out, you ain't gonna have no problems. Third tip I would say is you can't be mad when your friends and family don't support you. Honestly, you shouldn't expect them to. Be grateful when they do, if they do, but do not expect them to. Because it's kind of like, in their mind, they're gonna be like, okay, why is she charging me and I'm her friend? And then in your mind, you're gonna be like, why aren't you trying to pay me? You're supposed to be my friend. Y'all are never gonna, if they pay full price and they support you and they keep going, okay, that's great. But don't expect support from them, because I know when I first started my boutique, my first sale was from my mom. But your mom, it's your mom, she's supposed to do that. But my first sale was from New Jersey, and then it was Florida, and then it wasn't from Rochester until I started posting these people that were supporting me from out of town. Because you know how it is when you come from a small town, you don't really rock with the movement until it start moving, but that's like that everywhere. I watched interviews from other entrepreneurs and everybody says that their hometown wasn't really rocking with them until other people started rocking with them. So that's normal. But once you get that in your head that your friends and family is not gonna support you right out the bat, no expectations, no disappointments. That's just that. Right. Do I have another tip? What's another thing I learned during this whole thing? Ooh, don't quit. Don't quit. Because I was about to quit. I was about to quit 2 months before my business, no, 2 weeks before my business took off. I was in my smaller suite, and my lease was about to be up. My lease was gonna be up March 1st, and I was getting impatient. I'm like, dang, my clientele not where I wanted to be, because in February I was only getting like 3 clients a week, maybe 4. It was better than it was a couple months ago when it was 0.
Right.
But that's still a little slow to me. And I'm like, okay, maybe if you dip off and go somewhere else, your clientele could pick up and then you could come back. And there was a makeup artist, a very popular makeup artist, that wanted me, and she wanted me in her shop. And I know that I seen her groom 2 other people where they moved out of town, and now they doing celebrity hair and celebrity makeup. So I was kind of like, okay, maybe I should go in her shop and build my clientele up that way and then go back out. I felt like that was an easy way out that I was really about to take, because I was getting impatient. And then this dude I was seeing at the time, he just told me, he was like, you don't have to do that. He was like, for one, you already got your own space, so it don't really make sense to leave your own space to go to somebody else's shop. He was like, just hang in there and get it popping by yourself. You don't need nobody else. I'm like, all right. And then I stepped up my marketing. Like, I'm like, okay, you got to get a little bit more organized with your social media. You got to start getting on YouTube, do something, push yourself. And I did. I hung in there and got it popping. And I'm so happy I did not quit, because a lot of people, they jump from thing to thing. They start one thing, they see it's not working out. And even I'm guilty of that. Lashes wasn't working out.
Yeah.
I was like, nah, we off this. But, it was because I didn't like it. It's not because it wasn't moving fast enough for me. I just didn't like it. I didn't see myself wasting time on something that I didn't like. But a lot of people, they don't really take the time to invest in the energy. And I remember I was watching this interview with Tyler Perry, and he was like, starting a business is like planting a seed. And he was like, and when you plant your seed, if you plant multiple seeds and you start watering them, you dividing up the water between all these seeds, so they're not going to grow as fast as you want it to, because you're dividing up the water. Whereas you just plant one seed and then you use that whole bucket of water. The water is a metaphor for your energy,
right?
And you use that whole bucket of water, and then that seed is going to blossom into a tree. And then when that tree starts to blossom, it's going to grow branches, and those branches is going to be those other things that you wanted to start. Which is so true, because that's exactly what happened. I planted that one seed, and now this other stuff is just starting to blossom. Like, I got a skincare line coming out. I got my own wax brand coming out. A lot of stuff is starting to stem off of something that I just was like, let me just stick to this and focus on this and see what grows from this. And now a lot of stuff is growing from this one little seed.
Fire.
Thank you.
I love it. All right, so I feel like I've gotten enough.
Okay.
wait. So let the viewers know, like, where they can find you, like it.
So you can find me on Instagram, One's Element. On Facebook, I'm just Kayla. I don't have a business Facebook. It's not necessary, because my personal Facebook was lit. But I'm on Instagram as One's Element. My website is oneselement.co. Don't put .com, .co. And then you can shop. I got my small little retail stuff on there. Things will be expanding though, so make sure you stay up to date, because every time I get a new product, I drop it.
Bet.
And then you could come visit me at 803 West Avenue. Come get a wax, come get a facial. I start dermaplaning next week. I'm taking my class. I got chemical pills coming in. A lot of advanced technology is about to be rolling in here. Just know it's about to get very busy. My foot is about to stay on a lot of people's neck. And yeah, it's about to be big. 2021 is about to be very big.
Thank you.
You're welcome.